This is Kathy and Daryl's adventure to Racetrack Playa, a very mysterious place in Death Valley, California, where rocks move across a dry lake bed, leaving trails behind them. You have to have quite the sense of adventure to get there, as it's very remote, and the last 27 miles are a very rough dirt road. But we managed to make it there and get lots of great pictures and some interesting video, and discovered some new things that we hadn't heard about the playa, and some new mystery, so take a look.
So it is really beautiful here, and it is worth the drive. But just in case you thought we might be kidding about the road, look at this. These are the rocks you're driving over. And it's rocky on both sides, so you don't have a lot of options. You have to go slow. So do make sure that you plan enough time so that you can take this road at maybe 10 miles an hour. That means it's a 2-hour drive each way.
Here's the first two rocks that I've seen that have trails. As I approach, the trails should come into view if you can't see them already. This is at the south end of the playa, and we found this very cool meandering trail. You can see Kathy standing by the rock at the other end. This is the first one I've seen that's actually has traveled to the west. All the others seem to travel due south, but here at the south end we see tracks traveling east and west, and it looks like it's going to the west. This one I pasted off at 39 paces, so it's quite long, and you can see how it meanders. It's not very deep, but it's very clear to see it. Very cool. This one is very mysterious. It seems that this rock has moved from the west to the east. You can see its trail going off that way. And yet it seems to have stopped at the beginning of the trail of another rock that has traveled north way over there. And look how long this trail is. Just so you can see how big it is, I'm going to get my foot in the picture. In case you're wondering what's under the rock, you can see an impression that's very closely matches the shape of the rock. I say that because it seems suspicious that this rock has two trails coming from it. It almost seems like it was placed at this corner, but it hasn't. So why it has two trails converging on this one point, I don't know. It's one rock with two trails. This is the second time we've seen this. This is a very cool trail. It goes up, it stops. I'm not sure if you can how well you can see it on the video. It makes a U-turn, comes back over here, makes a hairpin turn, and then goes way up there. It's almost perfectly straight for a very long time, and then it makes a slightly left-hand turn. I'm going north, by the way, so the rocks do definitely go in different directions. And once again, it has stopped on the path of another rock. Maybe the path tends to make the rock stop. And so when it hits the path of another rock, it stops there. That's why sometimes it looks like there's one rock with two paths. It's really gotten to the path of another rock and stopped there. As you can see, that trail ends and then goes off this way. Does another couple of weird zigzags. Look at this weird N-shaped zigzag. And then goes up to there. And there's trails all over. crisscrossing trails. Hard to tell which trail went first. Actually, in this case, you can. The one that's going left to right is the latter one because it created a berm on top of the other one. And this rock seems to have moved to the west for about 8 feet and then came back to its own path. Here are two parallel paths which seem to twist and turn almost with each other, but not exactly with each other. At first glance, it looks like a vehicle made these tracks, but can't be because they don't match each other exactly. So this is two rocks traveling in the same direction and staying quite parallel, and you can see this little ripple here that they both made simultaneously. However, we get here and they diverge, one to the northeast and stopped over there, and one keeps going a long way to the east, and I don't know even where this trail ends yet. It's really long. This is the longest one I've seen yet. This may be a very important clue. These apparently are footprints. Notice left, right, but notice the length. Unless this person was ice skating across the playa, apparently he walked across when it was wet and moist, and his footprints elongated at some later date. Maybe the rocks aren't moving as far as we think they are, or at all. Also weird about these strides is I would have to run or really stretch for my feet to reach this stride, and I'm 6'1". So someone was running across the playa, leaving these footprints when it was wet, and they've elongated. Here's more normal footprints without the elongation and a much closer together gait.
Hi.
Hello, this is a good trail. This is the widest trail we've seen.
Yeah, if you come from over here, you can really see.
Very consistent, and
track.
also I noticed that because it's a heavier rock, the depth is deeper.
Yeah, come stand over here. You can really see the track.
Yeah, you can get to see the color variation, the way it shines off, the light shines off of it. Here's another new thing I'm seeing. A number of the rocks have a lighted section that almost looks like the ejecta blanket from a meteorite crater. There's that one. There's that one in the greater distance. There's another one over there. You can see that there's a lighter area of the sand in generally the same direction from the rock. Get a little closer to this one. My guess would be some sort of wind erosion caused by the position of the rock. The way the wind blows across the sand. It's very diffuse and doesn't even go right up to the rock. It starts inches away from the rock. This is one thing we weren't seeing all the time, is kind of a mud berm around where the rock stopped. But this one clearly has a berm here on the right side, and that corresponds with the deeper side of the trail that goes off, which is the right side. One side of the berm tends to be a little bit thicker. And these trails are very hard. They've been hardened here like this. They're not soft at all. They're just as hard as the surface around them. But this, clearly, is where we see the most trails and the most rocks, and it looks like this is really the source of the rocks. This little mound of hill in the southeast corner tends to be dropping rocks, as you can see, onto the playa, and then they move from there via the wind or ice or water or whatever it is. This is where the most rocks are and where the most trails are, and most of the trails tend to go away from this point, at least here, and then on the rest of the playa they move in different directions.